Good evening, friends. We'll start same CP 189 questions, and to complete this study guide questions only. In accordance with CP 189 2016, an NDT level 3 must approve all questions to be used on examination for level 1 and level 2. As required in CP 189, level 1 practical examination are intended to be given using one or more test samples for each technique. Which of the following is true regarding NDT Level 3 practical examination? The exam administrator must hold a valid ASMT Level 3 certification in applicable test. CP 189. The practical examination shall address the technical and practical competency of the examinee when following prepared NDT procedure for Level 1 and Level 2. When the near distance vision acuity examination is given using a Jagger reading card, it must be given in accordance with a procedure. ASNT NDT Level 3 certification is requirement of CP 189 to recertify by application, and ASNT NDT Level 3 must demonstrate continued NDT activity and Level 3 employment. The currently valid ASNT Level 3 certificate indicates that the certificate holder has satisfied the basic and method exam requirements as set forth in SNTTC 1A. To be eligible to sit for the ASNT NDT Level 3 exam, the candidate with 2 years of passing grades in engineering or science study at a university or technical school must have 2 additional years of experience beyond the Level 2 requirements in NDT in an assignment at least comparable to that of NDT Level 2 in the applicable NDT method. ASNT NDT Level 3 certification makes an individual potentially eligible to become an employer's Level 3. The ASNT NDT Level 3 basic examination covers all of the following except knowledge of international certification program. Okay, this complete that one. Then we go for NDT methods. Some overviews. We see acoustic emission. Acoustic emission testing. The most common range of acoustic emission testing is 100 to 300 kilohertz. Discontinuities that are not readily detectable acoustic emission testing are rounded inclusions. Growing cracks, plastic deformation, leaks can be detected, which is increasing. Rounded inclusion is not increasing. So 100 to 300 kilohertz only. It is not much high frequency. The total energy loss of a propagating wave is called attenuation. The Kaiser effect referred to the behavior where emission from a source will not occur until the previous load is exceeded. So when you apply a load, first time there is some emission, then with the same load there is no emission. If you exceed the previous load, then there is another emission. The Felicity effect is useful in evaluating fiber reinforced plastic components. The Kaiser effect is useful in distinguishing mechanical noise from growing discontinuities. The term counts refer to the number of times a signal crosses a preset threshold. The acoustic emission signal amplitude is related to the intensity of the source. Threshold setting are determined by the background noise level. Background noise can be reduced by electronic filtering. Acoustic emission, you can see my video on acoustic emission testing. Eddy currents are circulating electrical currents induced in conductive material by an alternating magnetic field. The method used to generate eddy currents in a test specimen by means of coil can most closely be compared with the action of a transformer. Electromagnetic testing relies on the principle of electromagnetic induction. When an electrical current in an eddy current coil reverses direction, the direction of the eddy currents in the test part also reverses. In order to generate measurable eddy currents in a test specimen, the specimen must be an electrical conductor. The magnetic field generated by eddy currents induced in a test specimen opposes the magnetic field that induced the eddy current. The electromagnetic testing IACS is a recognized abbreviation for International Annealed Copper Standard. The electromagnetic testing, the specimen is coupled to the test coil by coils electromagnetic fields. Which of the following discontinuities is easiest to detect with electromagnetic test? Easiest. The radial cracks that extend to the outer surface of the 51 mm 2-inch diameter bar because it is outer surface extended to outer surface. That's why it can detect. The penetration of eddy currents in a conductive material is decreased when the test frequency, conductivity of the specimen, or permeability of the specimen is increased. The term used to define the timing relationship involved in alternating current signal is phase. At a fixed test frequency, in which of the following materials will the eddy current penetration be greatest? So the less value of IACS conductivity. So the conductivity is higher, the penetration is lower. So lead 7% ICS conductivity, so maximum penetration. The impedance of a test coil can be represented by vector sum of inductive reactance and resistance. The term used to describe the effect of observed due to a change of coupling between test specimen and a flat probe coil when the distance of separation between them is varied is slipped up. Which of the following is not a disadvantage of using a surface probe coil for electromagnetic inspection of small diameter tubing? Inability to detect small discontinuities. When testing with eddy currents, discontinuities will be most easily detected when the eddy currents are perpendicular to the major plane of discontinuity. Major plane of discontinuity. Perpendicular to the major plane. The term fill factor applies to an encircling coil or inner coil bobbin probe. Which of the following material would be more likely used as mounting material for a probe coil? Plastic. Which of the following is not a commonly used eddy current testing readout mechanism? Signal generator. Not meter, electronic visual display, strip chart recorder, all are eddy current readout mechanisms. Some of the products commonly tested using encircling coils are rod, tube, and wire. The reference standard used for electromagnetic testing must be constructed from the same material of the object being inspected. It is often possible to sort various alloys of a non-magnetic metal by means of an electromagnetic test when there is a unique range of conductivity values for each alloy. When conducting electromagnetic testing on tubing with systems that include a frequency discriminating circuit, which of the following variables would be classified as a high frequency variable? Discriminate small discontinuities. Which of the following condition is not important when selecting specimen to be used as reference standard? If the material is aluminum, the surface should be anodized. Not important. Which of the following is not a candidate for testing by electromagnetic testing method? A 102 millimeter 4-inch thick plate to be tested for discontinuities throughout the plate. It will not penetrate through 102 milli. Which of the following conditions would be most difficult to detect when testing a rod using an encircling coil? A small inclusion at the center of the rod. The thickness of non-conductive coating on a conductive base can be most simply measured by observing the lift-up effect caused by coating. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll stop here.